Good evening and salutations, my GH friends. Okay, so let's talk about this scene with Tracy, Ned, and Drew. One thing that I can sit there and say that's nice is the bonding experience between Tracy and Ned. Because let's be honest, this is one of the very few times they can both be like, they go back and forth. You've seen that. But at least at this point, it's like, all right, well, we have a common enemy to sit there and roast. So, if nothing else, that's nice. But here's the thing, though, with Tracy and Ned. A lot of the stuff they did with Smith they're saying was some of the stuff was true, some of it was out of pocket. You know, them both Smith they're saying that Drew used his grief to get in bed with Willow. I don't feel like that's the case. Don't get me wrong, it's not a good look, but it's not like he sat there and said, well, Sam died and Scout is without a mother, so I want you to feel bad for me and kind of do me. Like you wanna do that. It's not like he had that intention. I think it just genuinely happened. And let's just be honest. While they're both that they're coming at Drew, it takes two, right? Now, after, this is after Michael lays into him and everything like that. He leaves and those two start up. While Ned and Tracy, specifically Ned again, are talking about outing him and everything like that. Drew's like, listen, I don't give a damn about the scandal on me. Think about Willow. And then it's like, whoa, this is all your fault. But here's the thing, though. I don't even want them to sit there and think about Willow at this point. I want you to think about the kids because that's the part that's just irritating me. It just seems like Tracy is hell bent on just being like, oh yeah, let's just sit there and expose them. And what happens to the kids? Oh well, like that's both of their impression. And by the way, Tracy keeps talking about, well, you're not one of us. You're not a real quartermain. It's like, okay, so what's the criteria for being a quartermain? You think it's standing over your father dying while we're holding medicine? Hell, even Ned turned around and looked like, yeah, you kind of did do that, didn't you, Mom Dukes? Like, you kind of really did do that. And she did. So my whole thing is like, I'm not sitting there saying that Drew is looking good right now. Yeah, he definitely is coming across as a scumbag. But Tracy, you got some shit of your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in a position to sit there and judge him. You really are not. And I don't know that much about Ned. So, whatever, fine. But Tracy, you doing too much. You're doing way, way, way too much. So she continues her rant and bitchiness for a while until Lulu comes in. Now, one of the things that people have said about Lulu when it comes to this search about Valentine and everything, I get it. You want to sit there and find your little girl. There's nothing wrong with that. You should also probably make some more time for your son, seeing how he missed you and everything. Just want to throw that out there. How even Dante is like, you might want to slow down because, there could have been a point where I could have accidentally shot you. And then Rock would have had to sit there and deal with that. So why don't you just slow down a bit? Just a tiny itch. Tracy and Lulu catch up. Okay. I'll get to this next scene before I talk about this other scene. Willow's hell out of pocket, right? And I've seen everyone lambaste Drew to like no end, right? Which I'm gonna get to some of those. I feel like I might get to some of those comments in a minute. But the thing with Nina and Willow is they're doing this manipulation shit. Specifically Nina. Oh well, we're gonna sit there and go for a sleepover and everything. And Carly, listen, I've been giving Carly a hard time, and I'm gonna continue to give Harley. Carly a hard time from time to time when I feel like she's out of pocket. In this situation, though, Carly was on effing point, okay? Because she sat there and she saw what they were trying to do, using the kids as, oh well, we're just going for a sleep or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know, I see the kids, but I'm not gonna sit there and stop. Because that's exactly what they were hoping for. Both of them was hoping that, well, because the kids was there and the kids can see it, then she's not going to sit there and pretty much kind of lay down the law. She pretty much was like, no, I know that they're there. I see them, and I'm still not going to stop. And while Willow's like, well, this is not your business or anything like that. Okay. But I'm pretty sure it's Michael's business because they're not just your kids. So eventually, after Ned is talking to um, Michael about, well, Drew's the real enemy. I'm like, no, just go somewhere. He comes back and he's like, hey, it's a party. Where the hell are y'all going, pretty much? There's a point where Willow's like, the kids need their mother. Um, are you serious? Like, that's why he was like, yeah, the kids also need their father. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that then. Um, But she is not just saying that she wants to take the kids. Then she's like, well, I need this. What about what Michael needs? Like, seriously, what about what Michael needs? You just sat there and just said some real selfish shit like, oh, well, let me just make this about me. I'm going to take the kids. Why? Why do you need to take the kids for? Seriously, you have a whole goddamn mansion. Hell, if you want to be generous, you could be like, hey, y'all can say that, yeah, I'll sleep in the mansion or whatever, and that could be fine. You don't need to go to Nina's. Why are you going to Nina's for? Why is Nina involved in this? Going all the way to Nina's house for what? What is that supposed to do? But you know what Nina and Willow did? They counted on Michael's generosity. And since Michael was not going to sit there and make a scene, seeing his son and his daughter and everything like that, and also giving his own experience, he was a kid. He's like, okay, listen, go there, have fun, be good for mommy and everything like that. And he sends them on their way. And then Carly's like, you made a mistake. Okay, Carly. Listen, I get it that you're like the Phyllis in a sense of GH to YNR. You want to fight for your kids. I get that. And I gave you your props, but now you need to sit there and let him handle this. You need to let him handle this. Um, Sometimes and I've said I've been sitting there thinking about this week, and I'm like, maybe this is part of the reason why Michael's so passive aggressive. It's because he constantly, either Mom Dukes, Sonny, or Jason, always handling situations that Michael can clearly handle. You know, but they always come in to the rescue and stuff, and it's like maybe if you actually let him, be a man and actually take charge of his life instead of constantly stepping in, then it wouldn't seem like Willow is constantly stepping on him. Um, they both find out that Dex is gone, and this is where this episode goes somewhat downhill, right? Because Jason and Anna, they're watching Jocelyn with a very dead Dex, and I'm gonna be honest, this scene did not do anything for me. It really didn't. The only thing that it kind of reminded me of, and I thought about this weekend, wasted potential. Wasted potential is what I think when I saw that, because I was like, him turning into a cop was not, you know, celebrated. Him being a snitch was like, what the hell? You should have been 6 feet under, if we're gonna be honest. Um, it almost seems like they just didn't want to write for him because they had a story for him. They could have brought in the parents. They could have brought in the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have did more with him, and they chose not to for reasons unknown. Um, I don't know if it was his decision to leave after his contract ended, or was they were just like, we kind of got a little bit too many people here, so yeah, that's the only thing I thought of. And everything else just didn't matter. Her crying over him and all the stuff that she said, it kind of just like, man, this is kind of taking forever. I'm going to the bridge with Jason. All that stuff after that just kind of. Now, Carly gets there, they hug, and I wish I was drinking something stronger. That's all I'm going to say. The thing is, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm really not. But I just feel like this scene just falls so flat in so many ways. Like, Gregory's death kind of got to me a little bit. Right? Gregory's death kind of got to me. This just seemed nothing. Um, and Gregory was not exactly a character. It was like, oh my god, I love him every time he's on the screen. But that just felt more than Dex just being like, okay, you know. And Dex was the character I liked more than Gregory. So somewhere along the line, they just really effed up. Um, Liz is told by Portia, because Lucky went to the meeting, that for right now she's not going to be seeing any patients. She could, do desk work or whatever, but as far as seeing patients, that's going to be enough. And Liz is kind of bummed, and I'm kind of just like, you should probably still be happy that you are still working in some capacity, getting paid, because you ain't rich, So you might want to sit there and kind of count your blessings. And yeah, I get it. Technically, she ain't rich, but Jason is. Share a child. Um. Oh, and then Drew, for some odd reason, goes back to this is the thing. Every time I sit there and I defend Drew in some sort of way, and be like, well, Tracy, you act like your shit don't stink, right? And them both lambasting him after a while. I was like, okay, this is just getting kind of old. And Ned, I think you just don't really give an F at this point, trying to blame more of it on Drew than on Willow. It's like they're both participants. And again, Michael, you're not exactly out of this whole scumbaggery thing either. But like, then Drew goes and he sorts out Willow. And I'm like, mother. I swear, if I was Drew's lawyer, I would charge him so much goddamn money. Just for the headache. Just for the goddamn headache. Um, he calls Willow, and Nina's like, "Oh well, he turned your life upside down." I was like, "Okay, yeah, because your daughter is just totally innocent in this, right? Right, idiot? Mm-hmm. Okay, sure." Um, Mac and Felicia come, and Felicia feels like there's a detail that's missing, and then it just kind of ends. Oh, like I said, Carly and Michael found out that Dex is dead. Oh, and I think somebody is blaming himself. Who was it? Was it Jocelyn? Was it Michael? Might have been Liz. I don't know. I just remember somebody blaming himself in this episode for. Oh, it was Anna. Yeah, once again, the guilt trip. Oh, I blame myself for sitting there making him a cop and blah, 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 blah. Like, this is what I'm sitting there talking about. I was like, bro, I feel like tomorrow you're going to sit there and blame yourself for global warming or something. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. Um, okay. Now, like I said, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Now, I still have Bold and Beautiful to do, and I'm going to do it. Okay? So I'm going to sit there and try to find a way to do a live stream tonight. Always look out for the community tab because I always sit there and let people know. if I'm going to do it, what time I'm going to do it, and stuff like that. Yeah, I will sit there and let y'all know. We got to talk about this stuff today. Um, anyway, if I missed anything, write in the comment section below. I will sit there and see you in the next video. Hopefully live stream tonight.